And from my perspective, it's about designing your life. How do you want your life to be?
You're listening to the New Music Industry with David Andrew Weeb.
Hey, it's David Andrew Weeb with the New Music Industry Podcast. Well, I managed to get out to Delta on the weekend for some berry picking with some friends. I got a little too much sun, but fortunately I wasn't burned too badly. It was the back of my neck that took the brunt of it. It's starting to feel better now. I started a new course on Monday, which mostly involves choosing 7 habits and working on them every day for 21 days. I guess I'm on day 3 right now. So far, I'm completing everything, including things like meditation and walking for 30 minutes. And I've also been taking a marketing course that requires about 2 to 3 hours of my time daily. Yeah, really, 2 to 3 hours. Honestly, for me, this has been great. I'm learning so much. It's such an awesome way to start my day. I feel inspired to take the world on. A new compilation was released the other week with some of my music on it. Super cool. I mean, compilations was something I did a lot more early in my music career. But this one features the music of my friends Carl Olive and Frederick Tamagi as well. The compilation is called Spirit Searcher Volume 1, and you should be able to find it on Spotify or wherever you listen to music, even on Amazon, where you can get physical copies as well. We did a publicity campaign for this release, very interesting, and several tracks got playlisted. Not only that, we also made it onto the CCM magazine new releases. Now, if you don't know anything about CCM, if you're releasing Christian music, then there's basically no higher honor than getting featured there. I would say the compilation is Christian friendly along the lines of Switchfoot, not necessarily corporate Christian music. And we also recorded an interview with The Antidote, which, if I'm not mistaken, is syndicated across 60 some odd radio stations. Amazing. That interview isn't out yet, but it is coming. I've also been plugging away on my new project, and by that I mean my new musical project. There's no real end date in sight, but it's basically a tribute to the 80s sort of thing with a comedic spin to it. I was just going to do a single, and that's basically done already, but I felt inspired to do a little bit more, so why not? But I figured I would at least track the music for an EP before the single's released. So even on the musical front, my life has been quite full. There you go. And of course, I've been working on the launch of my new program, but no sense getting into tedious details here, which are mainly made up of endless hours of writing, editing, designing, filming, combining video clips, and so forth. I'm really kind of relieved that most of that is done, even though I do have more course content to create. We're going to get into today's topic, so I've got another amazing interview in the can, but this week my time is coming at a premium, as you can tell, so I've put together something a little more off the cuff. In everyday conversation, I often find myself sharing ideas with friends, and I'm sure that's something you do as well. And then they will tell me, hey, this needs to be an article, or hey, this needs to be a video. And I've certainly acted on these calls rather spontaneously in the past and have written articles based on tidbits shared in conversation. I wish I could say I did this for everything. I actually have a long list of ideas to tackle if at any point it makes sense to do so. But today's topic also came out of a conversation I had. Now, I think productivity is probably top of mind for musicians and music entrepreneurs. And today we're going to be digging into this idea. So why don't we get into it? Hey, it's David Andrew Weeb, and I wanted to share a quick message about time management. I was originally introduced to the concept by Steve Pavlina, who's largely considered the god of online personal development. There's a great article, Do It Now, and I'm going to encourage you to go and read that now if you've never learned anything about time management in your life. Once I figured out how to manage my time, I definitely increased my productivity, which is great. But I was waking up early, staying up late, and before I knew it, I ended up with an anxiety disorder because I just wasn't getting the rest or sleep I needed. Of course, at that point, I had to dial it back, and I was really sad about that, and I was disappointed with myself. The thing that most people don't realize is that productivity is just getting a lot of things done. And once you've figured this out, honestly, it's not that hard to get a lot of things done in a day. What people really want, even if they don't know yet, is actually effectiveness. Effectiveness is getting the right things done, working smart, not just harder. I have a friend who I frequently discuss business and entrepreneurship with, and she will often say things like, oh no, you shouldn't be working so much, don't work 8 hours a day, you should dial it back a little bit. And the point is well taken, because time management is not time management at all. It's actually about energy management. If you have no energy, you're not going to be effective. But the key thing to understand here, because there's also proponents of hustling and grinding and working 16-hour days, is it's not actually about the number of hours in a day you're working. Because sometimes you can work 12 hours and feel totally and completely energized. And sometimes you can work 2 hours and feel completely defeated, like you've got nothing left to offer the world. So making that distinction is key in your life too. If you're working 16-hour days and you're effective and you're not burnt out and you're energized, then that's okay. I don't think it's a sustainable pace forever. I don't think you're going to be able to do that long term, but it's also okay to just work 2 hours a day. Sometimes you can just knock out whatever it is you need to do and get some super high impact work done in 2 hours, and you got the rest of the day to yourself. So never be down on yourself for overworking. Never be down on yourself for underworking. It doesn't mean you're effective just because you're working more hours, and it doesn't mean you're ineffective just because you're working fewer hours. That's not how it works. It's not about time management. It's about energy management. And from my perspective, it's about designing your life. How do you want your life to be? That's what it's about. Stop telling yourself that it's bad you worked so much. Stop telling yourself it's bad you worked so little. It's not about how much time you're at your desk, because sometimes you can totally feel energized working more, and sometimes you can feel devitalized working less. And it's time for news and updates. Well, the doors to my new 60-day program have opened. I'm shaking in my boots. If you'd like to learn more but aren't on my mailing list, go to musicentrepreneur.HQ.com/join so you can find out if this is right for you. I know the doors just opened, but they will slam shut August 1st, so act now. You don't have a lot of time here. Earlier this week, I appeared on Being in a Band with Monica Strutt. Monica's doing a great job with her podcast. It was a lot of fun to give an interview again, and this is something I'm looking at doing more in the coming weeks. In fact, I already got one booked for next week. And that's what's been going on this week. It's been kind of crazy, to be honest. If you're a regular listener of the show, we sure would like to hear from you. So don't forget to leave a rating and review in iTunes. We're happy to feature it on the show. As per usual, the best way to get in touch with me quickly is on Twitter. My username is @DavidAWiebe, WIEBE. Don't forget to send a shout out. Do you consider yourself an action taker? Do you love learning? Are you up to the challenge of completing new tasks every week? Then we want to connect with you. Join our email list and get your free weekly action plan at musicentrepreneur.HQ.com/join. I'm David Andrew Wiebe, and I look forward to seeing you on the stages of the world.
Thank you for listening. Music in this episode was brought to you by Brian Young. Wherever you're listening to this right now, please consider leaving a 5-star review and comment to help us get the word out about the podcast.